Hello YouTube and welcome to another jet ski video. In this one we're not going to be doing any jet skiing. As you can see, the conditions are not ideal for that. What we are going to be doing is talking about some old jet skis and just about some kind of random stuff. As you can see, it's a little nasty out there for riding a jet ski, so it's going to be story time with Joel. I was recently talking with Jason from Jet Ski Brothers about an old Sea-Doo, and he sparked a memory that I had of working on one years ago. This was years before I had any real interest in jet skis or Sea-Doos, and it was actually shortly after I had started my own business where I would do mobile repair services. I ended up finding out that this guy needed some work done to his old Sea-Doo. It was quite interesting. And the story was that the guy wanted to completely restore this Sea-Doo. I told him that I had no interest in doing any body work to it whatsoever, but I would take a look at the engine and let him know what it needed. So I go to his house and I come across this, which is something that I had never seen before and didn't even know existed. Apparently this isn't the oldest version of this Sea-Doo. They actually made one that was air-cooled, and as you can see from these photos, this was actually a liquid-cooled model. I find it quite interesting how they designed the exhaust. There was actually like a water box built onto the side of the cylinder body. The cylinders on this, from memory, were solid cast iron, and yeah. Anyway, I ended up pulling the engine, taking it home, stripping it down, and as you can see from these photos, the inside of the engine was pretty nasty. It looked like somebody had added oil to it to try to stop the corrosion, but it was a little too late. It was already corroded and pitted. So basically, I went through the engine, spent about a month looking for parts that we could use from another Ski-Doo of the same era or something newer, and came up empty-handed. The problem was that this engine was going to need connecting rods, wrist pins, needle bearings, big end pins, yeah, you name it, this engine needed replaced. After I told him this, he very quickly decided that he didn't want to do a full restoration anymore and that he simply wanted to finish up the hull. I was actually having a really hard time finding any photos or footage of this old Sea-Doo. I was looking through an old hard drive, I found the photos, and then I came across this video which has the engine in the background. This is me playing with, for means of monetization, let's call that a firecracker. And yeah, you can kind of see the engine in the background. Ow. That hurt. I'm glad I was wearing protection. This next video is a short one of me trying to explain to somebody how to install a circlip into a piston without the risk of dropping it into the bottom of the engine. This actually works really handy. If you use the handle of the ratchet, you stick it into the pin, and then you can't possibly drop the clip because it's locked in place. Use the screwdriver to push the clip in, and presto, you're done. And then there's this next clip, which is basically the finale, and that is, I decided that instead of giving this engine back to the guy in pieces, I would put it back together and for my own curiosity, see if I could actually fire it up and get it running. Well, I tried to warn you guys. Old iPhone footage and some photos with voiceover. Not the most entertaining thing in the world, but I'm guessing that a lot of you didn't even know that Sea-Doo made jet skis that old, so hopefully some of you found this somewhat interesting. I know I did. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.